Yeah, he was crying, saying, "Oh, I've lost my father. Please, please stay inside." Tell everyone stay inside because everyone's been going outside. Do you see? He was crying. He was crying on listen, he was on Instagram crying his eyes out, man. Like crying, like yeah, and pray for Boris Johnson. He was crying like obviously fair enough. He's I get it. You would cry to your father, but obviously he bit his lip as well. Like like he bit his lip. Like please. I was like, I don't know if he was acting or if he's being serious. We're live on the Facebook. Yeah, it should be. One sec. I'll pull up my notes. Yeah, he bit his lip and he was like, stay inside. But the thing is, with British people, you know, British people ain't gonna stay inside. Like England's a place where everyone does whatever they want. All right, today we're gonna go into a few things, man. We're gonna go into a few things, especially how you cooped up in the house all day. Imagine being cooped up in the house all day, no more like that. But also remember, check out Commanding GEN.YAHANNA's radio show, which is Monday 2 a.m. UK time. Also check out the classes in the States, Tuesday through Friday. Also check out the classes here in the UK, man. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. These classes don't stop, man. These classes go on and on and on. Check them out, man. Come on down to them, log in on YouTube, put your attendance, get in here, man, and put your brick in, man. Get in here and do some work for your nation. Don't be like these Christians that's hiding in their house and everything, which lets you know Christianity don't train you up for nothing, man. If Christianity trained you up for something, you'd be ready for things like these. Like this virus took Christians by surprise. This ain't took us by surprise because we know about plagues. We know about all these things. We know that the Lord's going to destroy the place. We know these things, man. But you Christians don't know these things. This is why they're praying for Boris Johnson, man. I heard a black Christian say, "Pray for Boris Johnson." Like, who cares about Boris Johnson? So you mean to tell me all the black people being murdered, man? All the black people dying, all the black women being abused and missing. Nobody prays for them, but we must pray for Boris Johnson. We must pray for our oppressors. Pray for Boris Johnson to what? Oppress us further. Like that's all he's going to do, man. You're praying for a man that's just going to oppress you further, which is the dumbest thing you could ever do, man. Laugh at Boris Johnson, man. That's what we're supposed to do, not pray for him. Go ahead.
Yeah, you'd like to pray for Boris Johnson?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Make sure he gets ventilated.
Exactly.
Meanwhile,
exactly.
He'll be just fine. He'll get the best treatment.
Right.
Black men don't get no ventilators, man.
Right. Exactly.
Short of ventilators. So if they're short of ventilators, trust me, they're gonna give one to you.
Exactly. You're the last person that's going to get a ventilator. I mean, if there's a black man and a white man in the hospital, both suffering from COVID-19, the nurse is going to look at both of them, man. And they're going to look at that white man like he's better than you and he's going somewhere with his life. And they're going to be like, oh, this is just a black man. Here's another statistic. He don't need a ventilator. Pray for those people, man. Pray for those people that this world thinks ain't worthy to get a ventilator. Pray for those people that this world don't think is worthy to get a hospital bed. Pray for those people, man. Don't pray for these rich white folks who's got all the money in the world, who can probably have ventilators at home. Listen, man, Boris Johnson lives in Downing Street. Meanwhile, what? Most of these people deported on charter flights. Most of them ended up dead once they got back. Most of them couldn't survive and ended up dead, man. Most of them fell into the wrong hands when they got back. Pray for those people. Pray for those kids that are here whose father got deported, who will never see their father again. Pray for those people, man. Pray for black people in the ghettos, man. Pray for black people suffering under our enemies. Pray for those people instead of praying for Boris Johnson, man. To hell with Boris Johnson. But let me go into my topic. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 9. Because now's the time. Now's the time where we need to make sure our relationships is stronger than ever, man. You know why? Because you're cooped up in the house for the whole day now. We need to make sure we have righteous relationships, man. Our relationships is running right. You women got your man in the house. Make sure you got a strong black man in the house, and so forth. Now's the time, because the time's coming when what? No one's going to be allowed out the house. And the other day, some man with a face mask knocked my door. My rib answered the door. He said to her, what did he say? Is he partnering or is he fathering? It sounds like to me, if I wasn't in, this man was going to try run up in the house, man. Listen, man, be careful of these East Indians knocking on doors, seeing if these women got a man in the house. Fortunately, there was a man in the house that would have took him out if he tried to step foot in. Fortunately, there was. Fortunate for me and unfortunate for him. He would have still been in the garden somewhere, man. So it's only right, man. Get a strong black man in the house, and now ain't the time to be trying to kick that man out, and especially all this quarantine and this lockdown. Now ain't the time to be kicking black men out of the house. He knocked on the door and he said, is your partner in the house or something? I don't know this man from nowhere, man. If she had said no, he probably would have ran up in there. And then he started saying he needs some jam. He said he needs some jam, some bread and jam. He goes, I used to live around here, but while it is, I've been kicked out and I need some bread and jam. Listen, man, what's that got to do with me, man? I don't give a damn if you need bread and jam. You go to the shop. You're East Indian. You're not my people. You go to the shop. Furthermore, all they need is curry. They usually just have curry. They don't. Since when did these East Indians know about bread and jam? That's how you know they've been westernized, bread and jam. They only know about curry and chapatis. If he asked for that, I probably would have said, you know what, I got some curry powder in there. He's asking for bread and jam, but read that for me. Bread and jam, what's he know about that?
1 Corinthians 11:9. Neither was the man created for the woman.
Neither what?
Was the man created for the woman.
Says neither was the man created for the woman. So this man wasn't created for the woman. The man was here before the woman. Go ahead. Right, in the truth before the woman. Go ahead.
But the woman for the man.
But what?
But the woman for the man.
And a woman was created for the man, meaning this woman's meant to serve her man. This woman's meant to do right by her man. This woman's meant to honor and respect her man. The woman was created for the man. Like the man, your man over you, your Lord over you. He ain't someone you're supposed to be poking him in his head, kicking out the house, telling him he ain't nothing. You was created for that purpose. You was created for him. Go ahead.
For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head.
Go ahead.
Because of the angels. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman.
Neither what?
Is the man without the woman.
Neither what?
Is the man without the woman.
So we ain't supposed to be fighting one another, man. It says, neither is the man without the woman. The Lord created us to exist together, man. The Bible says what? These two shall become one flesh. The Lord made a woman to be a man's helpmeet, meaning she's supposed to help him. And these times right now, we're supposed to help one another, man. Right. Do you know how hard it must be to be single in this kind of weather and you can't come out the house? I bet you want a man now. I bet you want a man around the house now, man. And if you ain't got one, this is what you do. You come into school, man. And by the time the next pandemic comes around, hopefully you got a man. By the time the next pandemic comes around, hopefully you got a man of the Lord, man. A man in the I.S.U.P.K, man. Hopefully, man. Come in here and don't be stubborn your whole life. Because what? Every good sister deserves a man. Every good man deserves a sister, man. Right. And the Lord made us to be together, man. A man with a woman. The Lord didn't make no man to be with a man. No woman to be with a woman. That ain't supposed to run, man. The Lord made us to be together. And it says, neither is the man without the woman. And if you're a man that thinks you're meant to be without a woman, you probably, you're probably gay. So like you very well, you might be gay. As for me, as for us, we need women, man. We love women, man. Imagine this lockdown and this quarantine, and you got no woman, man. That must be hard, man. Imagine this lockdown and you're a woman and you got no man. And you can't even come out of the house. And listen, man, you better get you a man in the I.S.U.P.K, and there'll be tons of things to do in that house, man. Get your man in the I.S.U.P.K. You will never have free time to be doing nonsense, man. Read on. Anyone is that about it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Give me Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 9. Like the thing is this, man, we meant to be together, and now you're seeing it. Now during this pandemic, you're seeing that these nails and this hair don't profit nothing, man. You're seeing that now a man wants a good sister that can cook now. Like imagine lockdown and you're eating junk every day. Nah, man. Listen, restaurants, you can't even eat junk every day. Restaurants is shut. TGI's is shut down now. All the bars is shut down now. Now you're gonna have to have what? More than just good looks, more than just a good body. Now you're gonna have to know how to use them hands. Now is the time when you're gonna have to have skills. Acrylics don't mean nothing when a man wants fried dumplings, man. Them acrylics, you're gonna kill a man, your nails break off in the dumpling, man. You need in the dumpling and your nails end up in the dumpling and you damn choke that man to death, man. Listen, acrylics don't mean nothing in this day and age, in things like this. Read on.
Ecclesiastes 4:9. Two are better than one.
What does the Bible say?
Two are better than one.
The Bible says two are better than one, man. Listen, man. If you're a woman, you're a better woman if you've got a man. You know why? Because he can give you correction. He can give you correction, man. He can help you out. You can help him out. Two are better than one. And you know how you know two is better than one? Because living under this devil, man, that rent gets expensive. Imagine if both of you combine that wage, man. That's more money, man. Right. Both of you combine that wage. Both of you put your money together and buy things in the house. Both of you take care of them kids. Both of you do all of those things. Listen, man, your life will be easier because the Bible says what?
Two are better than one.
The Bible says two are better than one. Now, if you know anything about bills, just imagine if you and your rib both got good jobs, man, or both decent jobs. Or just imagine if one of you lose a job, the other one's there to support you. Now, in the black community, there's a lot of a man loses his job and then he loses his woman. It ain't supposed to be like that, man. When a man loses his job, his woman's supposed to be there for him even more. She's supposed to uplift him, man, and tell him, yo, to hell with them devils. She's supposed to say, to hell with them devils on your job. We'll find you a better one. She's supposed to say, it's just a slavery anyway. In the meantime, while you ain't got a job, don't worry. I'm going to go and make some money for the both of us. I'm going to make sure there's still food in the house. I'm going to make sure we both still eat. A man ain't supposed to lose his job and scared to come home knowing his woman's going to kick him out because he ain't got no job no more. Nah, man. Listen, you can't just be in a relationship when the times are good. Relationships don't work like that. You can't just be in a relationship when everything's all summery and going good. You do know there's bad times in relationships, right? And there's hard times and there's going to be arguments and there's going to be disagreements. And she's not going to be able to stand you and you're not going to be able to stand her. All of these things do happen in relationships. Listen, things don't just 100% run smoothly. You are going to be in relationships where what? Your partner's going to need your help, man. Your partner's going to need you as a backbone and so forth. Your partner's going to have to rely on you at times. That's how relationships run. Relationships don't just run one-sided where the man just goes out and makes all the money and it just falls at your feet. A relationship don't run like that. And then when he can't provide for you no more, what happens? You call him a bum. You call him broke, and then you leave him. Nah, man, you meant to uplift him. Even though he's broke, you meant to make him feel rich, man. He's meant to be broke and feel like he's got $1 million, man. Knowing, you know what? I ain't got the money right now, but I got a good woman, man, that tends to my needs. A woman should know I got a good man that takes care of me. Relationships work two ways, man. Read on.
Because they have a good reward for their labor.
For they have what?
A good reward for their labor.
If they have a good reward for their labor, go ahead.
For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow.
For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. Go ahead. That's also brotherhood, man. Go ahead.
But woe to him that is alone when he falleth.
And woe to him that is alone when he falleth. Meaning what? If you're on your own and you fall, there's no one to help you up, man. In the I.S.U.P.K, if you fall, you've got brothers to help you up, man. In here, in our relationships with our women, if one of us fall, we're there to help our partners up, man. We ain't just gonna say, "Oh no, she's broke now. I got no use for her." Nah, man, we ain't gonna do that, man. Go ahead.
He have not another to help him up.
He have what?
Not another to help him up.
And this is why women gloating about being Miss Independent. The Lord never made you to be no Miss Independent, man. You're destroying yourself with this Miss Independency. That destroys black women. The Lord didn't make black women to be independent. The Lord made black women to be a helpmeet to a man. After that, I'm going to go back to Genesis 2 after that to prove it, but I'll read on.
He have not another to help him up.
And listen, man, Imagine you fall on hard times, you ain't got nobody to help you up. The only time most of these Miss Independent women want a man is when what? They're going through hard times. Listen, man, it's only right you have that man around all the time. This man will even tell you, don't post that picture, you look like a whore in that picture, man. You women need that strong man to tell you, look, man, you got you behind all that. Well, you think that's going on the internet? Nah, man. You need a man to tell you, you ain't going here, you ain't going there. And then what does our oppressor call it? He calls it controlling. He says you better leave that. He's the serpent that it talks about in Genesis, man, which is more sort of than any other beast. He says what? Oh, your man's controlling, man. You women deserve to dress how you like. You women deserve to wear miniskirts if that's what you're into. According to the Lord, you don't deserve to wear miniskirts, man. According to the Lord, that man rules over you, man. And this is why there's this and that is love. A man ruling over you shows he loves you. You know, when a man ain't willing to rule over you, it's because he doesn't love you. A man that cares for your body and cares about how you dress and cares about how you carry yourself, it's because he loves you, man. Now, if a man just lets you dress like a whore, lets you go clubbing every other week, lets you walk around half naked, it's because he doesn't love you. Just look at it like this: a man and his daughter. A man doesn't let his daughter dress like a whore, would he? And he also shouldn't let his wife dress like one, man. The same way you would look at your daughter and be like, where are you going in them leggings? Go cover yourself up. You do the same with your wife. Where are you going in them leggings? Cover yourself up. You don't want her to be some sex symbol for other men, man. Imagine you. This is your woman, which is meant to be yours and yours only, and you've got her as some sex symbol, man. Nah, man. We need to do better in our communities. Read on.
Again, if two lie together, then they have heat.
If what?
If two lie together, then they have heat.
Everybody knows about that in them winter nights. That warm fire meat, man. that warm fire meat, man. Them winter nights. Every man with a woman knows, man. Obviously, in the Christian church, they don't know because they don't really like women. But in here, we love women, man. Two together, they have a heat, man. Take me to Genesis 2:18 real quickly. So we can, is it 2 and 18? So we can show a woman's purpose, man. None of this independent stuff was never meant to be so. The Bible says the woman was made for the man. It didn't say she was made to be independent. It didn't say she was made to be her own person that does whatever she likes. It didn't say that nowhere. Read that for me.
Genesis 2:18. And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone.
Listen, man, God said it ain't good that the man should be alone, man. And it's not good that the man should be alone. Now, if a man's single, does it mean he has to have a woman? No, man. Some people prefer to be single because what? A woman in their life, you know, it might take up too much time and they just want to focus on whatever they're focused on and so forth. Some people don't need a wife. Like what? Christ didn't have one. Paul didn't have one. But as for me, I need one. So lucky. As for me, I need one. Now there's some men that need one. But as for me, I need one. Go ahead.
I will make him and help meet for him.
I will what?
Make him and help meet for him.
The Lord said they will make him a helpmeet, man. Make him a helpmeet. That's someone that helps you out, man. Helps you with whatever you need the help with. Like, we ain't supposed to be enemies towards one another. Did the Lord say he is going to make him an enemy? I read that. Did the Lord say he's going to make him an enemy?
I will make him and help.
Listen, man. The Lord said he's going to make him a helpmeet. The Lord made a helpmeet for a black man, man. A woman is supposed to be a black man's helper, not his enemy. But in 2020, we've become enemies to one another. We've become at war with one another. On Instagram, it's what? Black men versus black women. Like, all these nations play us off against one another. All these other nations are allowed to be happy together. The Arab man for the Arab woman, but they don't want to allow a black man to be with a black woman. I mean, Arabs control how their women dress. Muslim men, Arabs control how their women dress, man. How their women dress, how their women speak and everything. And no one don't call them controlling. As soon as a black man says, nah, I don't think you should go out dressed like that, people start saying, oh, red flags, he's going to be abusive. Nah, man. You're abusing yourself by you going out in a miniskirt, man. This man's trying to save you from shaming yourself. You know how embarrassing it is for you to be a man's woman and next men are looking at you sexually saying, oh, yeah, how's he with her and she's always naked? Listen, man, imagine people on road, everybody's seen your woman in a bikini on Instagram. Everyone's seen your woman in her bra set on Instagram. How is that your woman? That's not your woman, man. That's everybody's woman. She's what's to say? She's for the streets. She's for the streets, man. That's what she is. You don't want your woman to be for the streets. You just want her to be your woman. You want her to have a bit of class and a bit of dignity. That's what you want, man. Who wants some woman that's naked in front of the whole world, man? Naked on Instagram. She's not. She's got no shame. Why do you want to be with someone that's got no shame? Read on.
And out of the ground, the Lord God formed every beast of the field.
So the Lord formed every beast of the field. After that, go ahead.
And every fowl of the air.
Go ahead.
And brought them unto Adam.
So it formed the beasts and the fowls. This is it formed them, made them, and then he brought them to Adam to see whatever Adam would name them. So Adam named all these animals. Go ahead.
To see what Adam would call them, and whatsoever Adam called every living creature, the name that was the name thereof.
So now, when you look at the biblical names of these animals, it's because Adam named them. The Lord brought them to him to see whatever he would call them. So Adam named them. So whatever was called in the Hebrew, like a lion was called what, Ariel. So now that's how the lion got its name, Ariel. The wolf was called what, Hazahab. The wolf was called Hazahab. That's how it got his name. Also, the camel was called what, the Gamal or something along them lines. That's how it got its name. All these things got their name because the Lord brought them to Adam to see what Adam would call them. Go ahead.
And Adam gave names to all the cattle and the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was not found an help.
Says for Adam, there was not found a help me. So now Esau says, oh, a dog is a man's best friend. The Lord didn't say that. The Lord didn't say to Adam. No, Adam didn't say a dog's a man's best friend. He said there was no helpmeet for Adam, man. Listen, there's no better partner on this face of the earth for a man than a woman, man. This is how it was meant to be in the beginning. A man was meant to be with a woman. In 2020, it's changed. A man can be with a man now. A woman with a woman. It was never so in the beginning. Read on.
And the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam.
That's it on that. We went into that last week. But basically, after that, the Lord brought Eve to Adam, and she became his wife. And them two rock their marriage out and so forth. Go ahead. What's the question?
Is the woman's family supposed to interfere with a man and his woman when they get into an argument?
No, they shouldn't, because you know what happens when women go to their family and complain about you. You know what happens? The family talk bad about you. Oh, he ain't shit. His this is that. And then when you and this woman end up on good terms, the family just laugh at her behind her back and be like, "Oh, she was And this is why women shouldn't take to Instagram when they're angry. You know why? Because you talk all this nonsense about how dumb your man is and how silly he is and how much you can't stand him. And then when you're on good terms with him, guess what you do? Post how happy you are. You think people don't see that? Give me that scripture where it goes, be discreet. You know that scripture, it says women be discreet. It's 2 Timothy somewhere, 1 Timothy. I'm gonna give you a precept, but they shouldn't, man. There's certain things that you handle in-house. There's certain things that the family don't need to know. Like her family doesn't need to know that you two are having a disagreement. No one else needs to know that you two are having a disagreement unless you come into the school for counsel. What she would do if she was a wise woman is she would come to this school for counsel. You two would get counsel from the school. That's what it's supposed to be. But imagine this woman's going to people in the world expecting them to give her good advice. The only thing they're going to give her is whole advice, man. They're going to give her whole advice, and the whole advice they're going to give her is go get another man. And then guess what? She's going to go get another man, and she's going to fall out with him. And then she's going to be 50-something years old, having run for 1,000 men, and she's going to be bitter and miserable, talking about, oh, I'm Miss Independent. And all she's going to have to show for it is a piece of paper, which is a degree. Listen, man, you rather have a lifelong partner instead of a degree, man. Listen, that degree can't keep you warm at night. You can't cook for that degree. That degree just stays in the picture frame and stays on the wall. This is the thing. Most women get degrees and think that's the end of the world. Listen, get your degree and keep that good man there as well. Keep that man there as well. But read that for me if you got it.
Titus 2:4, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands,
Teach the young women what?
to be sober, to love their husbands.
And these women that go to their mother's not sober, so how can they teach their daughters to be sober, man? These our moms didn't have husbands, man. So how can they teach their daughters to stay with their husbands? What's gonna happen is this is what our moms do. Our moms, listen, mine's included. Our moms teach their daughters what? That man's no good. You should leave that man. That man's no good for you. The thing is this: our moms don't know what a good man is, man. That's why they bounce from man to man to man. So how can they teach their daughters anything? First of all, the last thing for any sisters, the last thing you want to be doing is taking advice from a single woman. Listen, man, it's like me taking advice on it's like me taking medical advice from someone that ain't a medic, man. It's like me taking medical advice from someone that's a pianist. It's not gonna end well, man. It's like someone that plays the piano telling me, "Oh yeah, I think you should take 8 paracetamols." Listen, man, he ain't in the position to be telling me anything. Same like women that's single and that's outside of this truth ain't in no position to be teaching anyone anything, man. I mean, a relationship didn't work for them. So how can they give you advice and expect a relationship to work for you? And when we grew up with our moms, we just used in the black household, we just used to what? Single mom with 8 kids, bragging about it. Like nowadays, nowadays in 2020, being a single mom is looked at as a badge of honor. Like women say, "Oh yeah, listen." My mom says, "I'm a single mom and I raise 8 kids by myself." Listen, man, if you shut your damn mouth, you wouldn't have to raise 8 kids by yourself. Go ahead. What she see? See, this is the thing, man. Now they want to be single moms. When the thing is this, the Lord didn't make you to be a single woman, man. The Lord made you to have a man. Like bragging about being a single mom is like bragging about being a Paralympic, man. It's like bragging about being a Paralympic. It's like bragging about having one leg like it's normal. No, man. Having one leg isn't normal, and being a single mom isn't normal, man. Was there anything on the Facebook or was there anything on the So the thing is this: people shouldn't be getting involved in relationships, especially if they got no credentials, man. Read on.
And to love their children.
So now they need to teach. The older woman was meant to teach the younger women this. This was written at a time when what? The truth was there. Now in 2020, the truth is only in the I.S.U.P.K, so only the sisters in here can teach this. People outside of the school can't teach this because why? In Christianity, where they teach the opposite. They teach a woman, if that man ain't treating you right, kick him to the curb and go get you another. When the Bible doesn't say that, man. The Bible says you make it work. Read on.
To be discreet.
To what?
To be discreet.
Pull up the definition of the word discreet for me. It says teach them to be discreet, man. Now, if that woman was discreet, she wouldn't be going to her family members, man. She wouldn't be going to her family members complaining about you, complaining about the arguments. Imagine every time you go there, the whole family know your business now. We're going to pull up the definition of discreet. All right, pull up that definition for me.
Discreet definition: individually separate and distinct.
Any more?
Detached, disconnected.
Those are the only ones. Listen, man, when it comes to arguments with you and her, she should be disconnected from telling her family anything, man. She should keep herself discreet, meaning what? The whole world doesn't need to know that you have had an argument. The whole world doesn't need to know that you have had a fallout. Instagram don't need to know that you I go live at 8 p.m. because that's what they used to do on Instagram. What's his name? Terrell Lewis. Remember when he went live? Remember what is his rib's name called at the time? Nikita. They both went live on Instagram. Thousands of people had their popcorn ready to watch the Instagram live to find out about their arguments, to find out about why they split up. When you're going like it's a joke, people look at your relationship like it's a joke. Read on. And you don't want people to look at your relationship like it's a joke, man. This is why you should be discreet. And the older women was meant to teach the younger women to be discreet, but the older women haven't been discreet. This is why you know all your dad's shortcomings from your mum, man. This is why you know everything your dad done wrong in his life, because your mum tells you. This is why you know that your dad was a deadbeat, because why? Your mum tells you. This is why you know your dad's got 50 other kids. Why? Because your mom tells you. This is why you know your dad's got 100 other baby mothers and you don't look after none of the kids. Why? Because your mom tells you. When she should just be discreet. Because whatever your dad's got other kids, guess what? Them other kids is none of her business, man. Let him do what he's doing, man. Let him do him. She should be discreet, but I read on.
Chase, keepers at home.
Keepers at home, but yeah, basically that's it. And that just let me know if that answers your question. But also, if you got a rib, just teach it to her that the whole world don't need to know when you have an argument. She can, keep it quiet, or she can just call the school, or you two both can get counsel from the school on how to make your relationship better. And the counsel you'll get will be wise counsel. Whoever's in the wrong, the counsel will let you know who's in the wrong and who's in the right and whatnot. And from there, give me 1 Peter 3 on 1 Peter 3 on 1.
First Peter 3 on 1.
Actually, there's a main part I want to jump down to. Is it about verse 5?
First Peter 3 and 5. For after this manner is the old time, the holy woman also, who trusted in God, adorned themselves.
Actually, read verse 1, 1 Peter 3 and 1.
Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands.
Now, the Bible says, be in subjection to your own husbands. Now, let me ask you a question. If your man asks you to do something unlawful, do you still have to be in subjection to him? Someone online, let me know. If your man says, oh, let's have pork for dinner today, because the Bible says be in subjection to him, does it mean what? You go and eat pork? Let me know, man. Does it mean you go and eat pork? If your man says to you he wants to have a threesome, do you go and do it because it says be in subjection? Someone online, let me know, man. It says be in subjection, right? Someone hit me with the answer. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes because the feed might be a little slower than Hebrew Princess said la'ah. That's right, man, la'ah. So now you be in subjection to your husband if as long as it's not nothing unlawful. Now, if your husband's telling you do something unlawful, you don't do nothing unlawful, man. Why? Because the Bible says so, man. Give me Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34. Now, if your man's saying to you, oh, you must be in subjection to me, let's have a threesome, let me get 2. Nah, man, you can't do that. Why can't you do it? Because it's unlawful. If your man says, let's have pork for dinner tonight, you better make pork for dinner tonight. Do you make that pork because you want to be in subjection to him? Like, oh, you don't, because it's unlawful, man. It's unlawful. You being subject to him, you're in subjection to him is righteousness. Like say for instance, if he goes, oh, I don't like it when you have your hair like that, have it that way. Fair enough, you have it the way he likes it. But when it comes to anything unlawful, you don't do it, man. Even if he threatens to leave you and whatnot, you still don't break God's laws, man. You still don't break God's laws, man, because God comes before everything, man. That's why, and we're gonna get that out of the Bible. Read that for me.
Matthew 10:34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth.
Christ said, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. Go ahead. Not everything's peace. Go ahead.
I came not to send peace, but a sword.
Go ahead.
For I am come to set man at variance against his father.
Listen, man. Christ come to set a man at variance against his father, meaning what? You and your father is gonna disagree on what you both believe, man. Your father might think he's a Muslim. You might think you're a Christian. One man will think he's a Hebrew Israelite. You're gonna be at variance, man. What's gonna happen is your father's gonna not want you coming around. Your father's gonna be, I don't want you coming around talking that Israelite nonsense. Your father's gonna be, I don't want you coming around saying the white man's not the devil. Excuse me, the oppressor. Your father's gonna be like, he don't want to hear that. And that's how this truth is, man. This truth sets you at variance against other people. Why? Because they don't want to hear the truth. Plenty of other people is against the truth, so they don't want to agree with you. Even your old friends will stop calling you, and that's good. Once they stop calling you, that's good, man. They don't want to hear the truth, but you stay in the truth, man. It's going to set you at variance. Read on.
And the daughter against her mother.
And the daughter against her mother, man. The mom, the daughter might want to be a Hebrew Israelite. The mom might be like, no, man, we're Christians. Everybody's mom's Christians, man. First, when you come into this truth, the people who you first argue with is your family, because this is a new craze to you. So what happens? You're in the house breaking down scriptures to your family until it gets to a stage where Your family members think you're crazy, and son, you're correct. You follow your husband as far as following the law. Yeah, damn right. It's exactly that. Read on.
Right. And verse 36, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
And your foes shall be they of your own household. So if you're a woman in the truth and your husband's not in the truth, and he says, oh, I think we should do this, something unlawful, you don't do it, man. You follow the law and tell him you serve God. That's what you do, man. Now, does it mean you have to be rude and speak to him like garbage? No, man. A righteous woman has a way of speaking, diffusing problems, and so forth. You ain't supposed to be cooking no pork. Oh, because my partner likes it. And also another thing, man. Also another thing that you need to stop doing. If you order a pizza, say for instance you order a pizza, and the shopkeeper gives you a pepperoni pizza, just because your family members ain't in the truth, what do most people do? Give them that pepperoni pizza? Nah, man. You're allowing them to sin. They're your brothers, man. I mean, how are you teaching people that they shouldn't be eating pork, but you just give them that pizza for the sake of it? Nah, man. Something you wouldn't eat, don't make them eat also, man. Something that's unlawful to you should be also unlawful to them.
Right.
You can't be saying, you know what, I brought these Haribos, but they got pork in there, so you can have them. Nah, man. You put those Haribos in the bin. You won't eat those Haribos because what? You don't want to break God's laws. So you also shouldn't make them break God's laws. Because I see a lot of people do that. Just because they don't eat pork, they give the pepperoni pizza to someone else. Don't do that, man. It's unlawful for you and it's unlawful for them. You know it's unlawful for them? Because they're Israelite also, man. That's why it's unlawful for them. Read on.
He that loveth father or mother more than me.
He that loveth father or mother more than me. Also, he that loveth wife and husband more than Yahushua. Go ahead.
Is not worthy of me.
Is what?
Not worthy of me.
Is what?
Not worthy of me.
Listen, man. If you want to put your wife or your husband before this truth, man, you ain't worthy of this truth. And this is why you shouldn't be doing nothing unlawful, man. Even if your partner says to do something unlawful. If your partner says to you, I think we should have pork tonight. And he says, all right, then you don't want to cook me pork. I'm heading out. I'm not coming back. And then you give in and say, all right, then we'll have pork tonight. You ain't worthy, man. You're supposed to stand firm on what you believe, man. You're supposed to stand firm on this truth. That's what you're supposed to do. Or you ain't even worthy of Christ. Read that again.
Father or mother more than me is not worthy of
and you that do that, man, you ain't worthy, man. You ain't worthy of Yahushua, man. You ain't worthy of being in this truth if you do that. Like if you didn't know in the past, that's how it goes. Because what some fake Israelites will pull is they'll pull that scripture, 1 Peter, be in subjection to your husband in all things. It means in all things lawful, man. It's not talking about unlawful things. They'll pull that scripture and say, see, this means we have to have a threesome now. Before you know it, he's in the world, you're having some threesome with some damn white woman, so luck, yeah. Because he's in the world. Nah, man, it's not talking about that. Just to let you know, man, it's talking about lawful things, man. Read on that. Anyone that is that about it? That's it. Give me. Oh, what did you say?
You mentioned that you don't matter what kids are man like outside your mom. No, we must know if they have other siblings.
Listen. You will. It's true. You must know that you have other siblings eventually, and the chances are, when a man does have another woman, he's got kids in other cities, and you find out 20 years later. You find out like what 20 years later. You find out 20 years later that you got siblings. Listen. My dad's got a son that I've never ever seen, who's meant to be way older than the rest of us. And then listen, I ain't never seen him. I just heard his name. Also, with my mom, also, she had 3 next sisters. She didn't find out that she had 3 next sisters. No, she knew about them, but she never seen them. She found out she had 3 next sisters once her parents died. And then they came around now. My mom's saying to me, oh, yeah, this is your auntie. And I just found it hard to call them auntie because, this is when I was over 20 years old. I'm thinking, the only aunties I know is the 2 that I got. But listen, if this world was more accepting of a man having multiple wives, all them kids would know each other, man. But because a man feels like, you know what, he don't want to lose this woman, he has to hide them kids, man. He has to hide them kids and say, nah, I just got kids with you. And then later on, 20 years down the line, you find out, man. Because he don't want to lose that woman. He don't want to lose this woman or that woman. So he tells this one he's got no kids, this one he's got no kids. When the truth is, he's probably got 5 kids with each. But he don't want to lose either. And then because this world beats down a man for having more than one woman and baby moms, like what they like to say and whatnot, he has to lie, man. And then what does that do? Because this world ain't accepting, he has to hide them kids. because it's scared to say, you know what, I got kids here and I got kids there. But obviously, when you come into the UPK, you don't need to hide them kids, man.
That's right.
You come in here and you say, yeah, I got kids here and I got kids there. Someone will be like, oh yeah, I'm originally from Leicester. You'll be like, oh yeah, I got 2 kids in Leicester. You'll be like, I got 2 kids in Leicester. But if you're not in the truth, you won't be brave enough to say that. What you would do is, when you would go to Leicester, what happens in Leicester stays in Leicester. And then when you come back to Birmingham, what happens in Birmingham stays in Birmingham. And then one day, your woman from here will be scrolling through Facebook and see that you've been tagged in a picture with a kid where the caption's me and my dad or something. And she's gonna be looking, hey, this kid's about 8 years old. When did he have this? And then that's when they all find out. So that's how it usually happens. Read on.
A lot of them lie.
Yeah, exactly.
And even his own children.
Exactly. They say it's not mine. It's not mine. Because what? They're scared of the backlash. They're scared of their woman leaving them. So they say it's not mine. It's not mine. When really they know it's theirs, man. Behind closed doors, they know it's theirs. But to keep their woman and stop their woman from leaving them, they say that it's not theirs. And that's just how. And which lets you know what, that life is hard for a black man.
Right.
A black man wants to look after all his kids, and this society don't even allow him to, man. This society pushes on him that he has to deny some of his kids when he wants to love all his kids. This society doesn't allow him to. Read on. Where was it? Give me Acts 5:1. Now I'm gonna show you about a woman who followed her husband in righteousness, man, and what happened to her. Meaning, if you're a sister in here, you better keep these laws, man. Don't follow your husband in no unrighteousness. I'm gonna show you a woman who's like so much women today, man. Follow their husband in unrighteousness. If you're a sister and your husband's in, and another thing, if you're a sister and your husband's in the truth, and he ever talks about leaving the truth, you better tell him he better never leave the truth, man.
Right.
Don't encourage him. Oh yeah, I think you should. There's so many people that's happened to, man. Some damn brother used to be in here. Him and his woman left the truth. His woman encouraged him to leave, and guess what? He's now beating her up, man. He's now knocking her upside the head. Whereas if he wasn't here, whereas if she encouraged him to stay in here, she wouldn't be having black eyes every 2 minutes, man. She wouldn't be getting black eyes and not being able to see, man. But obviously, once your husband speaks about leaving the truth and you encourage him to leave the truth, guess what happens? You think, oh, he's just leaving the truth and is going to remain the same guy that he was in the truth. Nah, man. Once he leaves the truth, all them demons come running back, man. All them demons that he once lost while he wasn't here, all them demons come back. Meaning what? That beating he used to put on you, man, that comes back. Right. Them assaults, man. Listen, you encourage them to leave the truth. Listen, I bet you wish he was still in the UPK when he's hitting you with weapons in the house, man. When he's attacking you in the house, I bet you wish he was still in the UPK now. I bet you regret encouraging them to leave, man. Now, I'm going to show you in the scriptures where some woman followed her husband to do some unrighteousness and what happened to them. Don't follow no one to do unrighteousness. Listen, I don't care if you've got the baddest woman on the face of the earth and she says to you, you know what? Leave the I.S.U.P.K and we can stay together. You say to her, damn that, man. You say to her, the I.S.U.P.K is way more beautiful than you, man. Say to her, the brotherhood's way more beautiful than you, man. Don't let you not get a crown, man. Don't let her make you not get that crown, man. You stay in here and you get that crown. You say to her, well, shalom. She says, I'm leaving you if you go to that UPK. You say, okay, shalom. Say, well, guess what? You're going to have to leave because I'm going to class today. I'm going to be logging into class today. This place will save your life, man. You leaving this truth for one woman, man. Listen, man. Understand this. There's nothing like this truth. But that loudmouth woman, there's a million of them, man. Yeah, right. And surely you see them every single day. You see them every day on Instagram Live. And listen, man, Tory Lanez has got some Instagram Live going on. All these women is naked on the. Listen, what's it? Go ahead.
No, you saw Tory Lanez broke the record for the most viewed Instagram Live. And it's fucked up. What's sad about it is that the record for Instagram Live are nothing constructive.
Exactly. Just
that Instagram blocked him. He made a new account and blocked him again.
No. See, and yeah, he had over what 200, about over 400k people watching live. Like basically, it's a thing they do. It's called the twerk show, quarantine twerking show. And listen, women is on there. They're behind all out, shaking their ass on the camera, man, for 500,000 people to see. Now listen, that's not a woman. That's not a woman you need in your life, man. 500,000 men have seen what you've seen, man. How about you get a woman where you the only person that sees her do that, man? You the only person that sees her shake her behind, man. She shakes her behind in 3D during lockdown, man. For you only, man. Not for the whole world to see. For 500k other men to see, man. Imagine that's your woman and 500k other men have seen. That's disgusting, man. Listen, we're meant to have 500,000k people in these online classes, but people don't want the truth. Go ahead.
And the wickedest thing is, Tory isn't even big of a celebrity, man. So
Exactly.
they can do it for him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. Listen, Tory Lanez had to go Turkey and get a hairline transplant, man. That says it all, man. This nigga had to go Turkey for a hairline transplant, and you got listen, man. You got 500k women shaking their behind for him on the internet, and there's the next one. You got women putting hand sanitizer on their behind. Listen, man, it's disgusting putting hand sanitizer on their behind. They think this is a joke. They better pray the Lord don't give them COVID-19, man. They better pray the Lord don't give them this COVID-19 that everyone's getting. Read on.
Acts 5:1. But a certain man named Ananias.
A certain man. Go ahead.
With Sapphira, his wife.
With his wife. Go ahead.
Sold a possession.
And they sold the possession, man. It was theirs. They sold it. They didn't have to lie about what they did when they didn't have to. Go ahead.
And kept back part of the price.
So they sold it and they said, you know what? They was going to give the money to the poor and whatnot. But what they sold it for, they kept back part of the price. So now, if you've got a man in here and he's meant to be doing something and he's trying to not do it, you better encourage him to do it, man. You better encourage him to do the right thing, man. Don't be like this sister here. What was her name? Sapphira. Don't be like her, man. You better encourage your man to stay in the truth, man. If you know secretly your man's smoking weed at home, you better encourage him not to smoke weed, man. Right. You better not accompany him in smoking weed. Right. You better stay in the truth and accompany him to stay in the truth too. If Sapphira was a good woman, that's what she would have done. But what? She more than likely loved her husband and thought, you know what? Let's do some unrighteousness together. Don't allow your partner to do unrighteousness, man. Never, ever, ever, under no circumstances, man. Or you could end up like Sapphira and Ananias. Let's see what happens to them. Read on.
His wife also being privy to it.
His wife also being what?
Privy to
Listen,
it.
man. His wife also knew about it, man. That's what it means. His wife also knew about it. And them two both agreed, man. They made an agreement. Okay, we're going to do this. Now, if you're a sister in the school, don't make no agreement to do no unrighteousness with your man, man. If you're a man in the school, don't make no plan to do no unrighteousness with your woman, talking about, oh, yeah, birthday party, but just don't post the pictures. Don't be doing that, man. Don't be privy to it, man. Don't be doing that. You encourage your partner to serve God. You tell your partner you're going off, man. You tell your partner what you're doing is wrong and it's against God, and don't do that, man. That's what you're supposed to tell your partner. Read on.
And brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet.
So now, it said they kept some part back of a possession they sold, and then they brought a part of it and laid it at the apostles' feet. Go ahead.
But Peter and Ananias. But Peter said to Ananias, why have Satan filled thy heart to lie?
Why have what?
Satan filled thy heart.
And listen, man, don't let Satan fill your heart, man. Don't let him jump in your mind and tell you should do this. Don't let him jump in your mind and tell you should lie. Don't let him jump in your mind and tell you should do any unrighteousness. Don't let him jump in your mind and tell you should eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. Don't let him jump in your mind, man. Read on.
To the Holy Spirit and to keep back part of the price of thy land.
And listen, man, they promised, said, you know what? I'm going to sell this and give you all the money, but they sold it. And Satan jumped in their mind for them to lie about money, man. Also, this sounds familiar, man. When people lie about money, man, or rob people and whatnot. This is too familiar, man. Don't let Satan jump on you and make you do that, man. Go ahead.
God. Whilst it remained, was it not thine own?
Meaning what? They said, wasn't the possession your own? You could have just kept it or said, no, you don't want to do it. You don't have to lie about it. Go ahead.
And after it was sold, was it not thine own?
And after it was sold, was it not yours? So he brought it and said, okay, so say he sold something for 50 grand. He brought 20 grand and said, I sold it for 20 and kept that 30. Nah, man. All he should have said is from the beginning, I'm not going to give you all what I get off it, but I'll give you a percentage. That's all he had to say, man. You don't have to lie about them things, man. Read on.
Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine own heart?
Why have you put this in your mind to lie, man? Why have you let Satan jump on you? And you know what? His wife was part of it. She could have said, I don't think you should do that. That's not right. She could have said, that's unrighteous what you're doing. She should have said, the Lord sees, right? She should have said, the Lord sees that you're holding some of that back, right? That's what she should have said. But she agreed like the Lord didn't see. They agreed like the Lord don't see all things. So if you are doing wickedness with your partner and you're not supposed to, like you're celebrating birthdays, celebrating Christmas, celebrating all our precious holidays, understand this, that the Lord sees, man. Understand this, that the Lord sees all things. In the book of Ecclesiastes, because it says what? His eyes is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. The Lord sees everything that you see. We don't see it, but the Lord sees it, and the Lord will expose you one day, man. It will come out. Read on.
Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto the Most High.
Thou hast what?
Not lied unto men, but unto the Most High.
Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto the Most High. So when you come in here and act like you're all righteous, but really you're not, you ain't lying to us. You're lying to God, man. You think, listen, God can replace you in a second, man. You could leave here and God can send 10 more people better than you, man. So this is what you do. Because you're in the I.S.U.P.K, this is what you do. You make sure you stay here. You make sure you do everything in your power to not get kicked out of here, man. You make sure you serve God with everything, your mind, your soul, everything, man. So you remain in here. That's how you're supposed to do it. Read on.
And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down.
And Ananias what?
Hearing these words, fell down.
Ananias fell down and died, man. Why? Because he wanted to lie. He wanted to disobey God. Him and his wife wanted to rob the apostles, man, and tell lies and whatnot. And he fell down. Go ahead.
And gave up the spirit.
He died, man. Guess what? You see that money that Ananias hid? Did he get to spend it? Nah, man, because he died, man. Whereas he could have lived by being righteous and doing the right thing. Don't allow your partner to disobey God and you be on board with it. Don't allow your partner to disobey God and you agree with it. If you have a partner in the truth and you're in the truth and your partner talks about how they want to leave the truth, you ain't supposed to agree with them, man. You're supposed to say, you're messing up and the Lord will deal with you, and I suggest you phone for counsel. That's what you're supposed to say. Don't be evil and encourage them to leave and say, yeah, life was better before we was in the truth. Don't do that, man, because you're going to leave the truth and you're going to have a ton of problems. Go ahead. And you might end up like Ananias, which is dead, man. Read on.
And great fear came on all them that heard these things.
And great fear came on them. And us, like reading this, great fear should come on us just by reading it, man. That Ananias died for him trying to be unrighteous and him bringing his wife on board. Now let's see what happened to his wife, who also was joint enterprise with him, man. Go ahead. That's what they call it in the white man's law courts, joint enterprise. Go ahead.
And the young men arose, wound him up, and carried him and buried him.
Listen, man. He died, and the young men arose and took him and buried him. Go ahead.
And it was about the space of 3 hours after.
It was about the space of 3 hours. 3 hours later, go ahead.
Not knowing what was done, came in, and Peter answered unto her.
So now, 3 hours after this man's dead, his wife came. Peter answered unto her. Peter asked her a question now. Remember, at this time, she don't know that Ananias is dead. She don't know, because she's probably out working or doing whatever she's doing. So now she's come back now. Read on.
Unto her, tell me whether ye sold the land for much.
And he said, tell me how much you sold the land for. He said, how much did you sell the land for? So at this time, Peter was going to see if what? This woman was going to stand on the truth, or if this woman was going to lie like her husband did, or if this woman was going to hold back a percentage like her husband did. And this is why you best not join your partner in unrighteousness, because you don't know if the Lord's testing you, man. You don't know if the Lord's testing you to see if you're going to be evil as well, man, or if you're going to stand on this truth, or if you're going to stand firm. So now Peter's asking her, read on.
And she said, yea, for so much.
And she said what?
Yea, for so much.
This woman lied, man. Her and her husband both got in on this lie together. So now she lied, man. Go ahead. And this is why. This was the whole point of me saying, should a woman follow her husband in unrighteousness if he tells her to do something unrighteous? The answer is no, man. If this woman here wasn't the truth, she wouldn't follow Ananias to do unrighteousness. She wouldn't have agreed with him that they should hold back a percentage. She wouldn't have agreed with him that they should lie and so forth. She would have said, I don't think you should do that. The Lord sees everything. If she was in the truth, but she's not in the truth. So what? She followed him in unrighteousness like so many of our people do. Read on.
Then Peter said unto her, how is it that ye have agreed together?
They what?
Agreed together.
And they agreed in this unrighteousness together, man. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to do that, man.
Right.
You want to be righteous. And that's why the Bible says two is better than one. If one person falls, you lift them up, man. One person feels weak, you lift them up, man. You don't ever allow your partner to leave the truth. You don't ever condone it and say, yes, I think we both should leave. Nah, man. If they even give the slightest hint that they're going to leave the truth, you say, the Lord sees everything. And you say, you're supposed to be righteous. You say, you took an oath. You say, you took an oath to the Lord. You say, when your head got anointed with the oil, you took an oath to the Lord. And you say, you tell them, if you break an oath to the Lord might just kill you for breaking that oath, man. You tell them that. You put the fear of God in them, man. Let them know why they should never break the oath. Once you come in here and you get your name, we ask you, is you sure this is what you want? We ask you, is you sure this is what you want? Because this is an oath, man. And this is an oath that you take, which is never to be broken, man. This is why we ask you, if you don't want to take the oath, no sweat the Christian church. You can be a homosexual in the Christian church. That's fine. That's fine. We won't come against you for it. You can go to the church and do whatever the hell you want in the church. You can sing and dance and get the COVID-19 in the church. But as for in here, once you take this oath, you better be a man of your word, man, and honor the oath that you've taken. And the Lord don't take it as a light thing when you break his oath. So you being here, don't ever break that oath, man. You honor that oath every single day of your life. Once you come in here, your life no longer belongs to you no more. Right. Your life don't belong to you no more. Your life now belongs to who? Yahushua, man. You do things how he was doing it when he was here. Your life now belongs to this truth, man. You no longer do what you would usually do. What you would usually do is go to the strip club, throw all your dollars and not pay your rent and be in debt now. Nah, man, you can't do that once you come in here no more. Now, once you come in here, you have to do service to the Lord. That's the oath that you've taken, that you will serve your people, man. That you will put your people before yourself. That's what you do with the oath. You do with the oath. You serve your people, man. You minister to your people. That's what you do with the oath that you've taken. Read on.
To tell the spirit of the Lord.
And then Peter said to her, all right then, so why have you and your husband both lied? Go ahead, read on.
Behold, the feet of them that have buried thy husband are.
And she didn't know her husband was dead. He said it to her, listen, the feet of them that have buried your husband, meaning them young men that buried your husband for lying, they're at the door and they're going to bury you for lying. So now, if you and your partner's both in the truth and he talks about leaving, you ain't supposed to leave with him, man. You're supposed to stay in the truth and show him every day why he needs to get back in class, man. Why he needs to get back in the truth. By you leaving, guess what happens? When all his demons come back, you're going to be the first person that he attacks, man. The Lord's protection ain't going to be with you, man. The Lord ain't going to protect you no more because you've done left with him, man. You've done allowed him to leave, or he's done allowed you to leave. The Lord ain't going to be with you no more, man. Whereas once you come in here, the Lord is with you. The Bible says the angels encampeth around the righteous. And that's what you should want, the Lord to be with you. And in times of COVID-19, you know you need the Lord on your side. Whether you got that little mask on, the gloves, sanitizer, and whatever else you wear, people wearing these gas masks and everything. If the Lord ain't with you, you can get anything, man. You can get run over by a bus while you're wearing that mask, man. You can die from anything while you're wearing that mask if the Lord ain't with you. Listen, serving the Lord is better than any face mask. Right. Serving the Lord is better than any sanitizer. Come in here and serve God, man, and you don't need to be afraid your whole life. You don't need to be afraid your whole life, man. Scared of every little thing, scared of everything that moves. You don't need to be, man. And in the I.S.U.P.K, we teach you not to be scared of nothing like that. The whole world is scared of coronavirus. And guess what? We still doing class, man. Driving around, windows down, listening to Dr. Veli Salakia. Driving around, listening to whatever songs we like, man. Read on. The rest of the world is scared for their life. Man, taxi drivers putting all plastic up in the car. You seen it? Putting all plastic up in the cars and whatnot. Moving crazy, man. Read on.
And shall carry thee out.
And shall what?
Carry thee out.
And this woman died for what? Being unrighteous along with her husband. Which lets you know if you're a sister, you should do what? Be righteous, man. In no form or way should you follow your husband to do unrighteousness. Now, the verse that we read before where it said, be subject unto your husband in all things, it's not talking about in unrighteousness. Because if it was talking about in unrighteousness, you couldn't blame Sapphira for what she done, man. And also another thing, as a man, you don't follow your woman in unrighteousness. Someone let me know that there's plenty of instances in the Bible where a man followed his woman in unrighteousness. Guess who? Adam followed his woman in unrighteousness, man. Solomon followed his women in unrighteousness. And then look what happened to them. Adam followed Eve, and look what happened to him, man. He got kicked out of the land, man. He had to work by the sweat of his brow. This is why we have to go to slavery today, man, and so forth. And pull it this way, the same thing Adam did is the same thing we did. The same way Adam got kicked out of the garden is the same way we got kicked out of the land of Israel, man. The same way Adam had to work by the sweat of his brow is the same way us black and Hispanics have to work by the sweat of our brow, which lets you know what? You can't just blame Adam because you do the same things that Adam did, man. You ain't no different. You break God's laws like Adam broke God's laws. But in Christianity, they make it like, oh, just blame Adam for everything. Listen, man, the same nonsense Adam did is the same thing that black and Hispanics do. And this is why we ended up slavery, man. This is why Adam ended up outside of the garden. This is why we ended up outside of the land of Israel, man. This is why we in England right now, running around trying to hide from COVID-19, man. Running around with a mask on, trying to hide from a virus, man. Read on.
Then she fell down straight.
Listen, man, she died also. That money they put back, they didn't get to spend it, man. They didn't live long enough to spend it. And if you leave the truth and you encourage your partner to leave the truth along with you, you might not live long enough to live out that glorious life you thought you was gonna live. Some nigga thought he was gonna be a doctor and whatnot. Thought he was gonna be a doctor. And listen, man, it's never gonna happen. Talking about, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm gonna be a doctor. Listen, man, if you don't put the Lord first, everything that you set out to do will crumble. Listen, man. Remember, once upon a time, Jonah thought he was going to skank the Lord and do his own thing, man. The Lord sent a big fish to come and get him, man. The Lord sent a fish to come and take Jonah back to the land of Nineveh. Listen, man. The Lord's going to make sure you don't get them credentials that you want if you ain't putting this truth first. The Lord's going to make sure you ain't going to live that luxury lifestyle that you think you're going to live if you ain't putting him first, man. Things will happen in your life where you think you're going forward and you're taking 10 steps back. Why? Because you ain't putting the Lord first. That's what you have to do, is put the Lord first. Put the Lord before any partner, man. Right. Put the Lord before any husband, any wife, any kids. If your kids say, I don't want to see you because you're following that Hebrew stuff, okay, shalom. Guess what? The Lord will make sure you have some more kids that do want to see you, which is in the truth, man. Right. The Lord will make sure you have kids which is in the truth. Your wife says, oh, I can't be around you because my family think you're weird, because you're weird, because you dress different and you talk different. My family said they need to leave you. And she goes, either you're packing that nonsense, what you're doing, or I'm leaving you. You say, okay, shalom. Guess what? The Lord will be with you, man. That's what you need, man. The Lord will be with you. You don't say, okay, I can't be in the truth because my woman doesn't like it. Listen, man, your woman don't like weed, but you still smoke it, man. Your woman don't like the fact that you're a drug addict, but you're still a drug addict, man. Your woman don't like the fact that you're an alcoholic, but you're still an alcoholic, man. But what, you want to blame the truth for all your problems? And oh, my woman don't like it. And this is the next things, man, with her multiple wives. People always ask, but what if my woman don't like it? Your woman don't like the fact you smoke all the weed in the world, but you don't stop doing that for your woman. Go ahead.
Women don't like me going to strip club.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We can't get you out the strip club. We're trying to get you in the truth to come to camp. You don't want to come to camp, man. We're trying to get you to stand and hold post at camp, man. But you want to hold post at the strip club, man? You want to go throw all your dollars at the strip club? When we're trying to get you to do righteous things, man. We're trying to get 500k people in these online classes, but they would rather watch Tory Lane, whoring out our women, man, whoring out our sisters. They would rather watch Tory Lane, man. Read on.
At his feet and yielded up the ghost.
And she died also, man. Go ahead. What verse you at?
And the young man came in with him.
Go ahead.
And found her dead.
Found her what?
Dead.
And she died, man, because she followed her husband in unrighteousness. Don't ever follow nobody in no unrighteousness, man. You put God first and God's laws first. That's what you do. If people don't want to be around you because you keep God's laws, so be it, man. It's not the end of the world, man. It's not the end of the world. If you're a man and you love your woman and she says she's gonna leave you, I understand you're gonna be sad and your little heart might be broken. Don't worry, man. Phone the school, man. We'll put holy hands on you, man. We'll put them holy hands on you, man. Christians think holy hands means you just stand over a man and pray for him, like, oh, whatnot. Nah, man. It's like when you give a brother strength, man. When you hold him and say, yo, listen, don't let that woman make you. You give a brother encouragement, man. You see, like when a brother's moving something, you shake him and say, yo, you're better than this. That's what it is when you shake him and say, yo, you're better than this, man. You say to him, you're going to let some beat make you want to leave the truth. You're going to follow her. Listen, man, and understand this. Once you come into the truth, most people's going to fall out with you, and your woman might not love you no more. You know why? Because you don't attend the kids' birthday parties. And then the family's going to be like, so why ain't his dad at his birthday party? And she's going to be like, oh, he's following some new religion. He's following some new belief system. Guess what, man? You stand strong on what you're following, man, which is the truth. You're in the truth. And guess what? What you're doing right now, it's a shadow of things to come. Meaning, sooner or later, that woman that was celebrating that birthday party, ain't gonna be able to celebrate that birthday party. That woman that was upset that you didn't come around for last Easter, guess what? There's no Easter this year because of COVID-19, man. Right. The Lord will make sure these things don't last forever. That woman that wanted a birthday party for the kids, my sweet 16. There's no sweet 16. There's sweet COVID-19, man. Right. There's sweet COVID-19 now. Eventually, everybody's going to have to fall in order. Eventually, everybody's going to have to fall in order. So don't let them make you feel like nonsense for you doing what you're doing, man. For you being in the truth. Eventually, they're going to have to be right here. And if they're not right in here, they're going to have to die, man. Surely they don't want to die. They're going to have to come back here and be miserable. And understand there's no Christmas, understand there's no Easter, understand there's no birthdays. And guess what the beautiful thing is? The price in Easter eggs now, Easter eggs ain't selling, so they drop the price, man. Easter eggs is just chocolate, man. It's chocolate that they've made into an egg, making you think it's something special. Imagine this, you're paying £5 for a Kit Kat Easter egg when it's just the same as a normal Kit Kat, man. They're hustling you, man. They do these things to hustle you. It's the same as a normal Kit Kat, man. Same as a normal cream egg. It's no different, man. Drop that. You can give me Proverbs 15:1. And also, there's a way to talk if you're in here, man. Now, if you've got a husband that's not in the truth, or if you're a sister, there's a way to conduct yourself and a way to speak. Give me Proverbs 15:1.
A soft answer turneth away wrath.
A soft answer, man. There's nothing more beautiful than a woman with a soft mouth, man. A woman that speaks soft, a woman that's ladylike, man. You know how beautiful it is to have a woman that's ladylike. Like, it's just disgusting when you got a woman that's, speaking like she's a man, speaking like she's a man, talking all rough and like for me, I don't know about anybody else, but it's so unattractive when a woman calls a man blood. Like when a woman, you know how men talk, how men will be like, yo done. That's how people talk in the UK. They'll be like, yo done. Listen, man, if my rib ever called me yo done, so lucky, listen, that couldn't run, man. That couldn't run, man. Yo done, nah, man. It's not attractive, man. There's a way that women should speak, man. Women are meant to behave like women. Women are meant to be all soft and cute and sweet, man. They ain't supposed to be rough and tough and speaking like men. It's disgusting. Listen, man, if my rib ever said yo done, I don't know. The Bible says we can't put her away. Obviously, we would be living separate for a bit. She ain't calling me no yo done and speaking to me like she's a man and nah, man. The Bible says a soft answer turneth away wrath. And this can apply to everything in life. Same like, you know how two black men see each other. You see a black man, you just be like, you're cool. You're good. Just ask him if he's all right. Shalom. That brother right there will be like, you're all right. And him angry looking at you and your soft answer. Now, does this mean you be a coward? No, it don't, man. It just means you don't ask him what you're looking at. You don't jump the gun. Because that's what a lot of us do. We jump the gun. A black man looks at another black man. What the F you looking at? That's not a soft answer. That ain't listen, you saying to another black man, what the F you looking at? That ain't turning away wrath. That ain't turning away wrath. What's going to happen is you're going to be fighting and going to war, man. He says, a soft answer turneth away wrath. Read on. And now a soft answer is what? Brothers can apply this to one another, man. You see another black man, hey, shalom, you good? And he ain't never heard no one say shalom to him in his life, man. That will make him not clutch his knife, man. That'll make him not pull his knife out of his waistband because he knows, okay, then you ain't coming with no hostility, with no war antics and whatnot. He knows you're coming with something different, man. Like today, there was two brothers right outside the school. I drove up real slow. If you know anything about the UK, you don't want to be driving up real slow, man. Listen, I drove up real slow. My windows is half tinted. I seen both of them in the car, turned their heads looking at the car. I was just looking to park outside the school, man. I was looking to park outside the school. They looked over. Then me three-pointed my car, drove back, passed real slow, man. You see how the car drove and boys in the hood, they probably thought it was something like that, thinking, who's this? And especially how we in the middle of the ghetto as well. They're thinking, who's this? I parked up the car, jumped out, and come to the school, man. They kept their head straight, man. Listen, man. Now, that could have went two ways, man. They could have looked at me and said, who are you? I could have looked at them and said, who are you? But a soft answer turns away wrath, shalom, and just, come into school. They ain't never heard shalom in their life. They're going to Google what shalom means, man. And guess what the devil's going to do? He's going to say it's meant to be shalom, when really it's not meant to be shalom, and it's shalom with an A. They're going to Google what shalom means. They're going to see that it meant peace. They're going to be like, oh, that brother said peace. Then they're going to look at the building and see the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And who knows, one day they just might come in here. Your soft answer might lead someone to the truth, man. You knowing how to speak might lead someone to the truth. Now, if I said to them two brothers, what the F you looking at? And then I come into school, they're going to look at the sign and they're going to be thinking, so why should I go to that school? The Bible says a soft answer turneth away wrath. And if you're a sister that's in this truth, make sure you've got a soft answer, man. If you're a sister in this truth and your man ain't in the truth, your soft answer might lead your husband to the truth, man. He will see how his friends' women's behave and how they talk. And then he will see, my woman don't speak like that. And my woman's been telling me about this Israelite thing for ages. Maybe I need to check it out, because before she was in there, yap. But since she's been in there, she's been a soft sister, man. She's been a nice, kind, loving, caring sister. She's soft.
But grievous words stir up anger.
It says what?
Grievous words stir up anger.
Grievous words stir up anger, man. This is the solution to our life, man. A soft answer turneth away wrath. If we dealt with one another better, less stabbings, less shootings, less of all of that, man. Oh yeah, and people keep talking about. Actually, we'll go into that later on. Remind me, we need to talk about Black the Ripper before we wrap up the class, man. Obviously, is a rapper and an influencer. Brother died. Lord allow the brother rises again. Obviously, we don't like it when our people die, but we need to speak about it, man, because people are saying this about a conspiracy theory. People saying he died because what? He was exposing the truth. It was, yeah, and all of that stuff, and he was exposing the truth about 5G. Listen, remind me, the last 10, 15 minutes of the class, we need to speak about it, man. We need to speak about it. If you know who he is, Black the Ripper, we're also going to pull up a picture of him. Read on, what did Rob say? Do you break the law by not going to high holidays? You do indeed, man. Because the Bible says what? In the law, come together for a holy convocation. Now, if you're far out, then obviously there's nothing you can do. If you're unclean, there's nothing you can do. If you're a sister that's just had a baby, there's nothing you can do. You're unclean, so you can't come. But you can't know that there's a high holiday down the road and you just say, oh, I'm not going to go because I'd rather just watch it online. Nah, man. The Bible says, gather yourself together, and you're meant to come here, man. And you see the good times that we have here, man. We be singing and dancing, man. We be singing and dancing to where the floor's shaking, that the floor's broke so much times, man. We have to keep getting it repaired because we be singing and dancing so much. Yeah, go and get that.
Deuteronomy 16:16. 3 times in a year shall all your males appear before the Lord thy God.
No, some of them.
All thy males appear before the Lord thy God.
All your males appear before God, man. Now, does it mean that you're gonna go to heaven and appear before God? No, man. Basically, what would happen is the priest would let you know where you need to be, man. Same like commanding GEN.YAHANNA is the high priest that lets you know where you need to be, man. Passover was meant to be April 9th, but obviously it's so far May 9th. If it's not May 9th, it'll be June 9th. And that's where all you males are supposed to be, man, at the Passover and so forth. Read on.
In the place that he shall choose.
In the what?
In the place that he shall choose.
In the place that he shall choose. And people talking about, oh, you can only keep Passover in the land. Listen, Shut your damn mouth, man. Where commanding Gen.YAHANNA says Passover is, the Lord chose that place where Passover is, man. It's that simple, man. Don't complicate it, man. You've got the easy job. All you need to do is to attend, man. We give you the location and you attend, man. Like that song says, I'll give you the location and I'll be right there. That's all you need to do is be right there, man. Stop asking all these questions, trying to say, oh, the Lord Passover only in the land. Stop thinking you know it all, Passover only in the land. Listen, man, we send you the location and you be right there. Simple. It's not hard. Exactly. He said it best. If I send you the location, you'll be right there. That's it, man. The Lord sends the Lord used to the Lord would let the priest know the location, man. I want it here. I want all the men, I want everyone to gather here. And you just gather there. The Lord's got a high priest in the earth today, man. The Lord's got a priest in the earth today. He tells you where you need to be. And you just be there, man. That's it. Same thing, man. Don't be talking about, oh, the Lord said we don't need to keep the feast days and we can't keep them if we're not in the land. We can't keep the Passover if we're not in the land. Listen, man. The first ever Passover wasn't in the land, man. The first ever Passover was in Egypt. Where was the other Passovers? The other Passovers was in the wilderness, man. You still wasn't in the land, man. So don't give me none of that. We can't keep the laws unless we're not in the land. We can't keep the laws unless we're not in the land. Guess what? People died in the wilderness for not keeping the laws. That was before there was in the land, man. They died in the wilderness, man, because they didn't want to keep God's laws. You can't keep God's laws unless you're not in the land. Listen, the Bible says what? In Isaiah 66, the Lord's gonna when the Lord's gonna purge out the rebels, man. What does it mean to rebel? You breaking God's laws and doing your own thing. That's even before you get into the land. So don't give me none of this. We can't keep God's laws unless we're in the land. Really, that's just a man that just wants to be a homosexual. That is, he just wants to be gay, and he wants any excuse to break God's laws. Read on. That's it on that. You can drop Proverbs. Go ahead.
Which he shall choose in the feast of unleavened bread.
In the what?
Feast of unleavened bread.
The feast of unleavened bread, which is what? The one straight after Passover. So Passover would be the first day, the 14th day of the first month. The feast of unleavened bread will be the 15th day of the first month, which is the sundown after that. Go ahead. So the next day, you'd be in the feast of unleavened bread, where you can't eat nothing leavened for. And also, Passover was meant to be tomorrow, but Passover is not tomorrow no more. So treat it like it's a normal day. And don't be trying to eat lamb secretly, having a lamb dinner in your house. That's all it will be, is a lamb dinner. And the feast of unleavened bread ain't also, because the feast of unleavened bread is along with Passover. So when we announce the next Passover date and when it is, that's when the feast of unleavened bread will be. So treat this week like a normal week. Don't take the leaven out of your house. Leave the leaven in your house. Go ahead.
And the feast of weeks. And the feast of tabernacles.
And the feast of weeks and the feast of tabernacles. The Lord said all Israel and must appear before him. Go ahead. Anyone that?
And they shall not appear before the Lord empty.
And what?
They shall not appear before the Lord empty.
And they shall not appear before the Lord empty. Back then you would have to bring your sacrifices and whatnot. That's it on that. Anything else? Give me I'll probably go through that after. Give me 1 Corinthians 7 and 12. And also the brother said, didn't God say wherever we should be to celebrate the Passover? The Lord did. The Lord said, keep my feast in all my keep his feast in all your dwellings. So wherever you dwell in, we must keep God's feast. That's how we do it. Wherever you dwell in, keep God's law. Even if you're on a land on your own, you still keep God's laws, man. Even if there's no food out there, just pork, you have to die before you touch that pork, man. You must die before you touch that pork, which lets you know how serious God takes his laws, man. You can't just be like, you know what, I'm just going to eat this pork. Nah, man. That's a Christian mindset that is, you know what, I'm just going to do it because, like, listen, a Christian's mindset is, I'm in jail and there's no women around, so I'll have the next thing. That's a Christian's mindset. We ain't supposed to have that mindset. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 7 and 12. But to the rest I speak, not the Lord.
Go ahead.
If any brother have a wife that believeth not.
If any brother have a wife that believeth not. Now, you all know what that means, man. You've got a woman that hates the truth. You've got a woman that hates the fact that you're in the UPK, man. You've got a woman that hates the fact that You can no longer spend your Saturdays with her because you're at camp. You've got a woman that hates the fact that on Saturdays you're doing camp, wherever you're doing camp, and she don't get the whole day with you no more. She's not in the truth. Read on.
And she be pleased to dwell with him.
And she be what?
Pleased to dwell.
If she's not in the truth, but she's pleased to dwell, let her dwell, man. And you just be so righteous that one day she's gonna be righteous. And you know what will happen? One day she'll be like, oh, can I come to class with you? One day she'll be like, what's the link for that class? And then before you know it, you're coming in from work, you can hear a UPK video, you're thinking, huh, did they leave the TV on? You see your head covered watching the UPK video, saying, I agree with that. You know how women say, con, all of that. You know how women say it. She'll be there watching the classes, man. But that's how you should be, man. You be stronger than her. You be so strong that she follows your righteousness. You don't be weak. Like, you don't be weak and then you follow her unrighteousness. Read on.
Let him not put her away.
Let him what?
Not put her away.
Let him not put her away. So if you've got a woman that's in the world that does your head in, it's still your woman, man. Even if you've got a woman that eats pork, that's still your wife, man. Eat shrimp, crab, lobster, it's still your wife, man. But you don't go and eat those things. You tell her, I will not eat those things. You tell her, I serve God and I'll put God before you, man. Right. That's what you tell her. Tell her, I'll put God before you, but because you're pleased to dwell, fine, read on. Say fine, that's what you say.
And the woman that have a husband that believeth not.
And if you're a sister that's got a husband that don't believe in the truth, you still be righteous, man, and your righteousness might win him over. Read on.
And if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her leave. Let her not leave him.
And if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him, man. Let her not leave him, man. If he be pleased to dwell, you just be so righteous that one day he comes into the truth, man. Read on.
And if, for the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, meaning what? Read on. It's gonna tell you why he's sanctified. Go ahead.
And the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
And the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Go ahead.
Else were your children unclean.
Whereas what? If your parents wasn't in the truth once upon a time before, you have a shine and whatnot, those kids was just couldn't come in either. But because one of you is in the truth, guess what? Them kids is clean, man, and can come in. But drop that. That's it on that. Drop that for time's sake. Give me a 1 sec. Let me see how much I got left. I'm gonna have to skip some for time's sake. We have to go to Black the Ripper. Give me let me just give me Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 16. We have to talk about Black the Ripper, man. Everyone's saying it's a conspiracy theory. The government killed him. Listen, man, they don't know his cause of death yet. But no offense to the brother, but how he was living, he's not a threat to the government. Like, he ain't a threat to the government, man. Read on. Give me Isaiah
3:16. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty. So now we're going through this coronavirus. Go ahead. And walk with stretched forth necks. You know our sisters, proud, walk with their neck in the air, like they damn run the place. Go ahead. And wanton eyes. And what? Wanton eyes. Wanton eyes, man. They want everything. Go ahead. Looking all over the place, wanting everything. Feel like they deserve the world. Go ahead. And mincing as they go. Mincing as they go. Now, once upon a time, our women was feeling independent and super sexy and thinking they run the show. Read on. And tinkling with their feet. They would wear them heels. You know, when you hear them heels on the ground, you hear them heels, man. And they would have ankle jewelry and tinkling of the feet and so forth. Go ahead. Therefore, the Lord will smite with the scab of the crown of their head. Listen, man. The Lord had to smite their head, man. Which lets you know this Bible is speaking about black men and black women, man. The Lord smited their head, meaning what? Their hair don't grow as long as it used to. Now, does that mean every black woman's not going to have hair? No, it doesn't, man. But the majority's hair don't really grow, so they got all this rice water. Listen, we know the secrets, man. So lucky we know the secrets that you use trying to get your hair to grow, man. The biggest, listen, I'm going to give you something better than rice water to grow your hair. Serve the Lord, man. Right. Serve the Lord and them roots to grow back, man. We see you sisters with your fake little butter that you've made with rice water in there, spraying your hair like... Listen, man, the Lord ain't going to let it grow, man. The rice water is not the trick. Serving God is the trick. Right. You putting that rice water in your hair thinking it's going to make your hair grow back, thinking your edges is going to come back. Them edges is gone because you're not serving the Lord, man. Right. The Lord said, I'll smite you with boldness, man.
That's why them edges is gone, man. Listen, you think we don't know about the rice water? Listen, we know all of it, man. You think we don't know about them shampoos that you make as well? You think we don't know about them shampoos that be in the bathroom? Them shampoos that you're making, and you say, oh, it makes your hair grow. There's a reason you're doing these things, man. The reason you're doing these things is what? Because you know deep down in your spirit what? That the Lord smited your head with boldness, man, for your disobedience. And rice water is the one they use, right? What did they put in the rice and water and shake it up?
Rice water, there's steam shit.
Yeah, there's tons of them. There's next ones as well. I think there's some of them put some fruit and stuff in there and put all these next aloe vera. Listen, I'm putting aloe vera and dandelion, what's it called? Castor oil and all these next things. Listen, man, the East Indian man hustles you. He says these things make your hair grow, and he's just lying to you, man. Serving God will make your hair grow. We know about the rice water. The rice water trick, it don't work, man. So lucky to break it to your serving God. That's what works. Read on.
Of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts.
Go ahead.
In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling.
Listen, man, it says in that day, the Lord will take away all their tinkling ornaments. And now, this time's already happened, and now it's happening again. COVID-19, man. The Lord's taking away these things. Like, these things don't matter no more. Read on.
About their feet and their clothes.
Now, once upon a time, our women was into all this jewelry stuff. The Lord's taking all that away. Go ahead.
And their round tires like the moon.
Listen, man. Once upon a time, our women's curves was mad, man. Our women's curves was mad. The gates, man. The ends, man. That's how you know this is a black man's book. What did the Lord call it? The Lord called it what? Tires like the moon, man. You know how the moon, round, man. Once upon a time, our women had all that. Now, does that mean that none of our women don't have it? No, it don't. Because some of our women do. Some don't. Some do. If you do, you're fortunate. Read on.
The chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets.
And now you see all these things that we're reading that the Lord said is going to take away. During COVID-19, now you're realizing that none of these things don't mean nothing now. None of the hair shops is open. None of the beauty shops is open. Nothing's open, man. You're quarantined in your house on lockdown. Them mufflers don't mean nothing now. Them feet twinklets don't mean nothing now. I read on.
Ornaments of the legs and headbands and tablets and the earrings, the rings, the nose jewels.
Listen, man, the Lord took all that away. Now, if you're not realizing, during COVID-19, none of these things don't mean nothing, man. None of these things mean nothing no more. Not one thing. I mean, a bracelet can't make festivals. A bracelet can't make ackee and saltfish. Listen, man, black men like to eat good. This jewelry can't make those things, man. The Lord took all those things away, and during COVID-19, all these things is useless now. Read on.
The changeable suits of apparel.
The what?
Changeable suits of apparel.
Oh, you like to go to the club, huh? You can't find none during COVID-19. Them changeable suits of apparel don't mean nothing now. Our sisters thought this summer they was going to wear them wrestling suits. You know the ones that Kurt Angle used to wear in wrestling. Them Kurt Angle wrestling suits. The cycling shorts. Yeah, man. You thought you was going to wear those this summer, huh? The green ones, man. What? The what? Is it neon green? You thought you was going to wear the neon green wrestling suit? Yeah. Nah, man. The changeable suits of apparel. Listen, man. You're on lockdown. All these things is useless now. Read on.
And the mantle and the wimple and the crisping pins.
Go ahead.
The glasses and the fine linen.
Listen, man. The glasses and the fine linen and the wool. All of that don't mean nothing during COVID-19. Read on.
And the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell, there shall be a stink. Everybody
knows what that means. Instead of a sweet smell. Once upon a time, women was fresh and bathed in ointments and perfume and whatnot for days and weeks. Once upon a time. Nowadays, what do they do now? Have a wash in the sink. Read on. Read on. Nowadays, what's it called? The sink wash. Or baby wipes. Nowadays, the wash in the sink or with baby wipes, just wipe their private area with the same flannel to wash their face with. That's what they do in 2020 now. Read on. I don't want to take up too much time on this one. Read on.
Instead of a girdle, a rent.
Instead of girdle, a rent. Read on.
And instead of well set hair, boldness.
Instead of what?
Well set hair, boldness.
Instead of well set hair, boldness, man. So now they got the rice water. Now they got the rice water, man. For that boldness, man. Now there's 1,000,001 wigs now. Now they got 1,000,000 wigs now. Now You wake up out your sleep, you see a wig on the dresser. you wake up now, you see a wig on the dresser now, man. You're thinking it's an extra person in the house. You see a wig hanging up on the door. You see a wig drying on the clothes rack now. Because instead of well set hair, boldness, read on.
And instead of a stomach, a girdle
Read on.
of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty.
Burning instead of beauty, man. Just imagine, listen, imagine we think our women is beautiful now. Imagine how much more beautiful they would be, man, if we all serve God.
Right.
Imagine if all of us serve God, how beautiful of a nation we would be. Read on. That was it. Read on verse.
And thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in war.
And now, men is falling by the sword, especially out here. All these stabbings and whatnot. Go ahead.
And her gate shall lament and mourn.
And what?
Her gate shall lament and mourn.
And now all of this is happening, and now women need a man because them gates is lamenting, man. Them gates is lamenting. They need a strong black man in the house now. During COVID-19, nobody wants to be alone. Read on.
And she being desolate shall sit upon the ground.
Listen, man, if you're single and lonely, read on. You knew enough desolate, read on.
And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man.
In what?
In that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man.
Listen, man, women want a man now, man. 7 women shall take hold of one man. People are talking about, oh, this is in the kingdom. No, man, this is now, man. Women, during COVID-19, all these women need a man now. They need a man to let them know, listen, don't be afraid of this, don't be afraid of that. Once upon a time, there was Miss Independent and didn't need a man. They need a man now. Read on.
Saying, we will eat our own bread.
Huh? Saying what?
We will eat our own
Listen,
bread.
man, now these women don't care that you ain't got the best job, man. No, they don't care that you ain't got the best job in the world. They're saying, you know what? We'll eat our own bread. We're going to make our own money, man. We ain't looking for a rapper no more. They don't need that no more. Go ahead.
And wear our own apparel.
And wear their own apparel, man. Meaning what? You don't need to buy them clothes. And apparently, what I've been hearing is some men buy women's clothes for the date. Like a woman would say, if you want me to go on a date, you have to pay for my outfit. I've been hearing some men be paying for the outfit. Listen, I didn't believe at first. I didn't think black men would do that, but I heard some black men's paying for the outfit just for her to wear it on another date with another man. You're paying for it. Listen, there was a song which said, you're buying women clothes and there's a next man taking it off you. Who sings that song again? Listen, so one of them Jamaican songs. You're paying for this woman's clothes for a next man to take them off. Listen, don't be that guy, man. Don't be that guy, man. Have some what's the word I'm looking for? Have some dignity, have some honor, man. Please don't be that guy. Read on.
Only let us be called by thy name.
Only what?
Let us be called by thy name.
The time's coming when women ain't gonna require a lot, man. They just want to be called by your name, man. They just want to be known as, she's got a husband, her man is such and such. Don't mess with her, man. They want to be known as, my man don't play no games, man. They want to be known as, that's my, I'll get my man on you. Listen, women is going to want a man. They just want to be called by your name. Now's the time where they don't give a damn about how good your job is. They don't give a damn about what car you got. They just want to be called by your name because they know that you're a strong black man that prophesies of the future and you're a priest. And listen, they're going to want to be called by your name. But for time's sake, we need to drop that. Type in Black the Ripper. Pull up who he is and what he's known for. People say we need to talk about Black the Ripper. It's a brother from the UK that died. But people are saying, oh, because he was talking about 5G internet. That's why they say the government killed him, which is a damn lie. You have to talk about Black the Ripper for 5 minutes. And like I said, we ain't mocking the brother, man. We pray he rises again, man. Without all the drug abuse, we pray he rises without all that drug abuse. So lucky I didn't even get to finish my topic. I didn't even get to go to Proverbs 31 or nothing, or Ecclesiasticus. We might part 3 next week, but I'm gonna quickly go into Black the Ripper. There's a bit of a glitch on the internet. It's just loading a little slow. But for most of you who don't know who he is, he's a rapper. Oh, and they're saying it's a conspiracy. Pull it up on Wikipedia who he is. If it's on there. And I need one of the pictures of him with all the cannabis. Like people Oh, they said they killed him because what? He had tons of followers and he was changing the world. And listen, no offense to the brother, but he wasn't doing nothing that no other black man in the world is doing, man. He ain't no threat to the government, man. He ain't no threat to the government. The only people who's a threat to the government is the I.S.U.P.K, man.
That's right.
Only we are a threat to the government. You're saying, oh, Black the Ripper was a threat to the government. No, man, he wasn't, man.
There's no difference between him and...
No, not this one. Sorry, say that again.
No difference between him and...
Exactly. Exactly. There's no difference. Exactly. See if you can pull up his Wikipedia. You might have to pull it up on your phone, you know, if it's quicker. You got 3%. Because the internet's moving slow, I'm gonna just pull it up on the phone for time's sake. And he was one of them ones that said, "Oh yeah, take down the 5G towers, take down the 5G towers, blah 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 blah, 5G towers." Listen, man, I'm trying to get 5G, man. I'm trying to get 5G. Everyone afraid of 5G. I'm getting 5G, man. I'm gonna have 5. Listen, I wish I could have a 5G tower in my house, man. And all you people talking about 5G, listen, man, you still use the microwave. You still use the microwave and whatnot, and it's not harmful, man. It's a lie. People say, "Oh, it kills you and whatnot." Everything else, listen, you eating pork is harmful, man. You eating shrimp and crab is harmful. You worried about 5G? Yeah, pull up the
Black the Ripper.
Pull up his Wikipedia, what it says about him, what he's famous for.
Dean West, better known by his stage name Black the Ripper.
So his name was Black the Ripper. Go ahead.
Was a British hip hop and grime MC, rapper, entrepreneur.
He was a rapper and a grime MC entrepreneur. Listen, man, this government don't fear no damn rappers, man. That just rap about the same thing. Read on.
And a cannabis activist.
And a what?
Cannabis activist.
And a cannabis activist. Why would they kill a cannabis activist? He's killing himself with all the weed, man. Drugs kill. I don't think people's aware that drugs kill you. Read on.
From London, England. He ran his own record label, Dank of England.
And his Dank of England, he used to spark up his spliff everywhere. See if you can pull up a picture and just put it in front of the camera with the big bags of weed. You probably can get it on your phone if this is moving slow. Or just type in images. See if we can pull up one on there. Oh, see, pull up that one with the big bag of weed. Them two. If it loads. And after that, type in a cannabis, the facts, NHS. There's a quick article we need to go into. Now I'm going to quickly run through it. I don't know if you can see that picture on the screen. See if you can just take this is him. So there's the big bags of weed. Yeah, he's got 2 big bags of weed. This is who people are saying, oh, it was a conspiracy. No, man, it wasn't, man. Now we're gonna pull up that article, Cannabis, the Facts, NHS. Straight away, the government ain't gonna be afraid of some weed smoker, man. The government ain't gonna be afraid of someone that smokes all the drugs in the world, man. No offense to the brother, I'm just saying it how it is. The government ain't gonna be afraid of that. Now we're gonna go to Cannabis, the Facts, NHS. So we're gonna pull up that.
Cannabis, facts in the NHS, also known as marijuana.
So now, by the way, this is people who studied for years and got all the evidence. But you're gonna listen to some guy that ain't studied nothing. You're gonna listen to a man about 5G towers who got an E in science, man. These scientists been doing this for years, and you're gonna listen to some man that got an E in science telling you anything. Okay, if you're gonna listen to a man that got an E in science, go let this man to medical school give you open heart surgery. Then you wouldn't trust him to do that. So I don't know why you're trusting him with anything else. You wouldn't trust a weed addict to give you a brain surgery. What that man is going to do is cut your head open and put a spliff in there. So lucky, he's gonna put a spliff in your head and close your head back. That's the only thing he's gonna do. If you stay trusting these weed addicts, as for me, I'm gonna listen to the proper medics. Read on for time's sake.
The effects of cannabis. So yeah, the effects of cannabis vary.
So now we're gonna read the effects of cannabis. This is read on.
From person to person.
Varies from person to person. Go ahead.
You may feel chilled out, relaxed, and happy.
You may feel chilled out, relaxed, and happy, which means what? The reason people are smoking drugs is because they're upset about something, man. This makes them happy. They can't face anything without drugs. Like this brother here, he couldn't face life without the drugs, man. Straight away, that should let you know something. The government ain't afraid of these kind of things. Read on.
Some people get the giggles or become more talkative.
Read on.
Hunger pangs and munchies are common. Colors may look more intense and music may sound better.
Music may sound better. So now, these weed addicts hear about 5G and start to run with it thinking, oh, yeah, the towers is giving us radiation and killing us. Listen, man. Everyone who's into conspiracy theories is all weed addicts because when they smoke weed, they say it opens their mind. And then they start to believe all kind of nonsense. Read on. For time's sake, I'm trying to rush it. Go ahead.
If you're not used to it, it will make you feel faint and sick.
It will make you feel what?
Faint and sick.
Which lets you know it ain't good for you. Go ahead.
It will make you feel sleepy and lethargic. It can affect your memory.
It can affect you what?
Your memory.
Can affect you what?
Your memory.
And listen, man, these weed smokers, it affects their brain, man, and their memory. How are you taking any advice from any drug addict? If a drug addict told me it's Wednesday today, I would have to check for myself, man. I would have to check with the weather forecast, and I would have to check with the calendar, who actually don't smoke weed and who ain't a drug addict. I ain't listening to nothing the drug addict tells me. Read on.
It makes some people feel confused.
Makes what?
People feel confused.
And listen, man, all these conspiracy theories smoke weed, and this is why they're confused. This is why they're confused about the 5G and why they think the floor's moving. Most of them think the floor's moving. Read on.
Anxious or paranoid.
Anxious and what?
Paranoid.
And listen, man, it lets you know that this ain't no good for you if it's making you feel anxious and paranoid. And tons of people suffer from this anxiousness and paranoid and paranoia from what? Smoking drugs, man. Weed, smoke. If you're a drug addict, if you smoke anything, man, read on.
And some experience panic attacks.
Some experience what?
Panic attacks.
Some experience panic attacks, man. They experience panic attacks from what? Smoking, which lets you know you ain't supposed to be smoking, man. Read on.
Stronger forms of cannabis like skunk and sensimilla.
Go ahead.
It interferes with your ability to drive safely.
It interferes with your ability. And now people that smoke weed, their ability is affected. So when they tell you about conspiracy theories, just don't even listen to them. The weed's affecting their ability for them to process anything. The last people you should be listening to is drug addicts. But no knock on the brother, obviously. He just don't know no better. He smoked all the drugs in the world and he had a big following, and it's not a conspiracy theory. Listen, man, it's nothing to do with the government killing him. Eventually, all this weed and drugs catches up with you. Read on. It catches up with you one day and it will take you out. Hopefully, the brother rises again and comes back without the weed and without the dank of England. Is that it's called the dank of England? Hopefully, he rises again without the dank. Read on.
If you use cannabis regularly, it can make you demotivated and uninterested in other things going on in your life.
It's this what?
Can make you demotivated.
It can make you demotivated. Most weed smokers just want to get high and sleep all day and sit on the couch. They want to be demotivated. They're demotivated from taking the drugs. Read on. I'll go ahead. Exactly. Demotivated. You can't get a woman because you smoke all that weed. All you do is smoke your life away. Read on.
And uninterested.
And they're uninterested in anything. Oh, and another thing with weed smokers, they're uninterested in listening to the truth. They just want to listen to conspiracy theories all day. Read on. Any more that about it?
In other things going on in their life, such as education.
Weed smokers is uninterested in education, and this is why they don't research 5G properly, man. Because they're uninterested in education, because they smoke so much weed that they can't get off the couch, man. And then they want to tell you all of this. Read on. And then also another thing, man. People know that on the cigarette box it says smoking kills, right? But people still smoke. And you tell, listen, there's no evidence that 5G kills anyone, but you got evidence that smoking kills and you still smoke. Let me just show you this picture real quick. I don't know if it shows in the thing. Some messages might pop up that you ain't supposed to see. So lucky. But yeah, look at that. One's a non-smoker's lungs and one's a smoker's lungs, man. Look at that. You mean to tell me that smoking weed ain't bad for you? Look how fresh. Oh, I thought I messed it up. So lucky. I thought so lucky. But yeah. On the left is a non-smoker's lungs, and on the nothing. Give me John 8:32. Then we close up with that. You ain't supposed to be smoking nothing, man. The smoker's lungs is so black and full of char and everything, which lets you know that smoking's bad for you, and it clogs up your lungs. It clogs up your lungs, and then eventually you die, man. That's what smoking does. Clogs up your lungs, eventually you die, man. And then it gives you all kinds of cancer. I mean, if that's not enough evidence that smoking's bad, how you